The second question will start with Warren Slocum answering, and then just go around. The 4th District encompasses a diverse range of demographics. How do you intend to reach out to those groups who may not have an avenue to voice their issues, particularly Latino voters?
Thank you for the question. I think I've spent the last 24 years actually reaching out to underrepresented communities in my former position as Chief Elections Officer. One of the things that we worked long and hard at was how to bring more people into the process of, number one, getting registered to vote, but then not stopping there and actually getting people to vote. I think that I've spent a great deal of time and energy in East Palo Alto, in the north part of the county, the coast side, doing exactly those kinds of things. One of the things I would do immediately is on my staff hire a bilingual person from the community who would be familiar with the community, who could speak Spanish and represent the county and the people. Holding regular office hours out into the community, not necessarily at the East Palo Alto City Hall, but there too, but in other places where people could come and talk, working with groups like the North Fair Oaks Community Association, and a wealth of other organizations and nonprofits. I think that a lot of the job of supervisor is getting up out of the office and into the community and listening to people and working with people. And that's exactly what I've done and exactly what I would intend to do in the 4th District, but not just the 4th District, because there are underrepresented people throughout the county. Thank you.
Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you. And I'm going to just quickly scale back on the last question because I missed the part on the budget because I ran out of time. So I'm not a believer of taxing and cutting towards prosperity. What I want to do is really promote economic development and let people know that this is the place to work, live, and play in. So, second thing, in regards to the current question, I want to go to the public. I'm not expecting that the public comes to me. In the 4th District, a lot of these residents don't have cars, walk or bike. And I recognize that my job as a supervisor is to ensure that a lot of the information that I get or the direction that this county needs to go in is by receiving the input from our residents. I have been to the county supervisors meetings. I don't see these residents going, for the most part, to these county supervisors meetings. So I feel it's my responsibility to go out there and seek the input from them. And by doing one of those days, is creating like an office day in each of those cities that I represent.
Memo Morantes.
Thank you for the question. My 2 boys attended Creative Montessori in East Palo Alto. And that was the beginning of my life in East Palo Alto. I just lived 2 minutes away on this side of the freeway. But I also have continued to be very active in different groups in East Palo Alto, from Creative Montessori, EPA Can Do. I've been very active recruiting people for the school board. I'm very proud to say that I've been definitely part of that community to today on a daily basis. With the North Fair Oaks, I couldn't say enough about the Fair Oaks with clients, with my private practice in the insurance business, Meadowfield, North Fair Oaks, off of El Camino. I can name you every street that there is there. I am proactive. I spend a lot of time there. I've done several things back in the 90s with Proposition 187. I was very active. Motivating people to become citizens. So it is my community. I will continue to work for that community, not only in the North Fair Oaks, but San Mateo, Daly City, South City. It is my county, and I will continue to work for the county of San Mateo.
Carlos Romero.
Not only is the 4th District diverse, but the entire county is. 25.3% of all people in this county are Latinos. 24.7% are Asians. How would I start? Number one, by making sure that we can diversify the Board of Supervisors so that a young Asian child who lives up in Daly City can say, I can indeed aspire to be a member of the Board of Supervisors, so that a young Latino can indeed do the same. But specifically, as the mayor of East Palo Alto and as a council member, all of my selections to people on various commissions and special advisory bodies have all been diverse. They have not all been Latino. I think it's important to make sure that that vast demographic that we have here, that all those folks indeed are reflected on the commissions and on the boards that we have. And it is very, very important, certainly, that I, as a supervisor, would make sure that I would go out and get that diversity on those commissions. Number two, you need to get out there, you need to go to meetings, and you need to make sure that you are willing to listen in another person's language, right? And if you need an interpreter, make sure that it's going in the opposite direction. Actually, that they're interpreting for you, because again, you need to have people feel inclusive and comfortable within all those public forums in order for them to engage with us, and ultimately sit up here in this dais. Thank you.
Kirsten Keith.
Thank you. When I was a young girl, when I was 12, I moved to Santiago, Chile. And I lived there when Augusto Pinochet was in power. So I saw firsthand what it's like to not have a democracy and to not have the ability to participate. So participating and voting is something that is very near and dear to me. And I appreciate it because when you live somewhere where they don't have it, you fight for it more and you want to participate. So the things I do, I actually do speak Spanish fluently, and I'm on the private defender panel, and I represent many people in this county for the last 16 years. And I see our district attorney is here, and I have cases that are against the district attorney's office, and but we work well together, and we protect this county and do good work for the county. I've also, like I said, helped start Sor Juana Inez, which was a battered women's service agency. It was the first of its kind for Latinas in San Mateo County. It has since merged into Cora. I'm a member of Job Train. I'm on the board at Job Train, which is all about getting jobs for people, because if people have jobs, they can buy food, they can have a house, they can take care of themselves. When they don't, they can't, and they become a burden for everybody. So it's important to train people, retrain people, and have people get jobs. I did political asylum cases here when I first passed the bar. And I've worked in the North Fair Oaks Community Center doing citizenship applications for Latinos and also helping people fill out their lawful permanent resident papers, all in Spanish. And so I worked at Brentwood Academy this weekend with Compassion Weekend. I get out in the community.
Andy Cohen.
It is not only important to bring people into a democracy, to make them feel welcome, and give them an opportunity to participate. It's also essential to make it possible for them to earn a living wage and to have a decent place to live. The jobs housing ratio has driven the state's campaign to build more housing for over 30 years. 30 years ago, the state first authorized secondary dwellings. A little over 10 years ago, the state made approval of secondary dwellings a ministerial function rather than a discretionary function, because the first law was a failure. We still have major problems with illegal secondary dwellings of one sort or another, including garage conversions, in East Palo Alto, in Bellhaven, in Daly City. This is a problem that has not been solved yet after 20 years of many jurisdictions working on it. I pledge to help alleviate the housing shortage in San Mateo County as a way to enrich democracy for all citizens.
Shelly Mazer.
Thank you. So I'm glad that Carlos pointed out not just the diversity of this district, but the diversity of this county, because we do represent the whole county as county supervisors. My husband and I moved to Redwood City because of its diversity, and we chose the schools that our children go to, Spanish immersion, just for that exact reason. As a school board member, I've represented an extremely diverse district. Our families are 70% Latino, but our community represents a much wider range of economic and ethnic diversity. And it has taken a lot of work to try and balance the needs of that community. The way we've done it is we've implemented new ways of communicating with our families and with the community at large. I've done extensive outreach campaigns and would do the same as a county supervisor. I think you heard some great ideas, and these are all things that I think are extremely important. Holding regular office hours in the various communities that you represent. Appointing diverse people to boards and commissions. As a county supervisor, for those of you who don't know, one of the roles that we get to play is to put people on boards and commissions, and making sure that our county is represented on those boards and commissions, very important. And then the third is, as a nonprofit leader, I have many connections to the nonprofit community, and I think working with organizations such as the North Fair Oaks Council, One East Palo Alto, and other nonprofits to help communicate and engage the citizens in the work that we're doing as a county is another way to make a difference.
Thank you.